All right, welcome back. So now finally it's time to create our SEO optimized content because we have found our winning keyword. So we're going to take one of these. So let's say we're going to take how to make cappuccino at home without machine, and we're going to create some SEO optimized content around it. All right. So for this purpose, I'm going to be using WordPress as an example. Now you must be having a website and you must be having that website on some platform. And usually more than 90% of the people who are watching this course will probably have their website on WordPress. But even if you have a website on another platform like Wix is very popular, you can probably follow this. But I have never done SEO on Wix, though I'm sure it's possible. The reason I'm telling you this is because we will have to install something called as a plugin, like an SEO plugin, which I'm going to be showing you in this video. And I'm not sure if that is available on Wix or not, but that is definitely available on WordPress. So I'm going to be showing WordPress, but ultimately, like I said, even if you use some other platform, you will be able to apply the same concept. That's what you have to get from this video. Okay, so let's get started. So let me just give you a simple example. If you remember in the first video, I'd shown you this, that this is one of the terms for which my coaching website ranks for. So meaning of edupreneur, because now you know how I must have researched this using the different tools that yes, a lot of people are typing, but the competition was very low, the keyword difficulty was very low, and therefore you can see that immediately I was able to rank quickly on this. So how things work is when someone clicks on this, okay, what are you going to see here? You're going to see some content, right? So in WordPress, if you're not already familiar, it's very easy to create content like this, and that can be done. For example, if I had to create this, what I did was, for example, this is my website, clicktrainers.net. It looks like this on the front end. And if I go to the dashboard, this is the back end. Okay, this is where I can create posts. So what you're seeing here is nothing but a post. Think of it like an article. Okay, it's called a post in WordPress. So I can go to posts, I can click on add new, and it's going to show me two boxes. So the first box will be the title. And the moment I've used the word title, something should come in your mind that we learned in the last video. Remember those titles that we were seeing and I was telling you, they did not look very optimized, okay? That's what these titles here are. So we will have to make sure that the title comes here. So this is basically the title of your articles. We have to make sure this particular keyword comes in the title, okay? Not necessarily like we saw, it doesn't always have to exactly be in the same order, but it just helps if at least all the words are definitely there in the title. So the title is going to come here, and then also the rest of the remaining body. So this was the title, okay, and the remaining body of the content is going to come here. And once we're done writing this whole thing, we can click on publish. So what is going to happen is there are a lot of things that we'll have to pay attention to, just like the title, that the keyword comes in the title. We'll also have to make sure that this keyword is also repeated a few times in the content itself. So you can actually see this here, right? Meaning of edupreneur. You can kind of understand that I'm trying to target this keyword now, meaning of edupreneur. It's coming in the title. It's also coming in the text here, especially at the start. It's very important. Okay. And you can see, throughout this, I have repeated that meaning of edupreneur. You can see that even if I go at the end, you'll probably find it somewhere. So, like you can put something like this. Okay, so now that you know about the meaning of edupreneur, so you don't have to repeat it too many times because that can send a negative signal to Google. But all that, you don't have all this. The best part is you don't have to remember all this manually. Okay, we're going to install a plugin which will actually tell us as we're writing this content. Okay, it'll actually tell us if we're doing the right job or not. Okay, and once you actually see that plugin or the software in action, you're going to realize that it's going to make your life very, very easy. But right now, my whole point is, what are we trying to do? We're just trying to add a new post, which will be optimized for the keyword that we have chosen. That's all. Okay, so I'm not going to do this on my website because the thing is that I already have that software installed on ClickTrainers. So I have this sample website which is called yogabreathe.net, and I usually use this website to teach a lot of things to my students, okay, because this is just like a sample website. This is not real business. So what this will allow me to do is just to show you first of all how to install the software. We'll ultimately here also we will go and click on posts and add new and start making our content or the article. But before that, we need to install that software, and in WordPress you do that by going to plugins. So we're going to go to plugins and we're going to click on add new. Okay, and then this plugin that we're going to use, which will help us to create this SEO optimized content, is called Yoast. Okay, so you're going to type YOAST, Yoast. Okay, so it's a very, very popular plugin called Yoast SEO. It's probably the most popular plugin in the world for SEO. So we are going to click on install now. It has 5+ million active installations. That means 5+ million people have installed this on their WordPress website. Once it gets installed, you're going to click on activate. And once it gets activated, you really don't have to do anything else. I might cover some important points regarding the setting up of the Yoast plugin. There are 1 or 2 things that can help you in SEO, but right now we're focusing on creating that optimized content. Okay, so we're going to go to post. We're going to click on add new. And what you have to imagine is that, just imagine that this is your coffee website. Okay, so because I don't want to buy a coffee related domain just to show this doesn't really matter. Just imagine like this was called coffeewithkush.net or .com or something. Okay, so here you can see, and now this kind of looks a bit different. That's because what we're looking at here is the upgraded version of WordPress. So even what we saw I actually used to prefer something like this, but WordPress just changed this. Okay, so in the latest version of WordPress, I still have to upgrade my ClickTrainer's website. That's why you're seeing the older version, but I actually used to like this, the white space and this little ad title, but they just recently changed it to this. But you can see it's literally the same thing. It's just the look has changed, so don't worry about it. Okay, they just made this slightly bigger. But how does this whole process work? We're interested in that, so let's start. All right, so obviously I'm not going to write the whole article here because it's not like a real business for me, but you'll just get the point. So the first thing that we need to tell the Yoast plugin. You can actually see because we've installed that Yoast SEO, you can see it on the right side, and it's going to keep on updating this. As you keep on writing this article, it'll actually show you this thing called as SEO analysis. Right now you can see it shows a sad sign and says SEO needs improvement. That obviously we've not written anything, but our job is to ultimately, when we finish writing this piece of content, there should be a green smiley icon here. Okay, so how does it all start with? If you just go down, we've not even started writing the title and the article, but if you go down, you can see that the Yoast SEO plugin is being reflected here. If we hadn't installed this, you wouldn't see all this here. Okay, so now what this plugin is first of all asking us is, what are you trying to focus on? What is your focus key phrase? We've not entered anything here. And what is our focus key phrase? The winning keyword. So that when we ultimately start writing, after we put in that key phrase here or the keyword here, whatever we're writing, Yoast gets a reference point. Yoast will compare your focus key phrase with everything. Is it coming in the title? Is it coming in the body of the content? And then it'll keep us giving us suggestions. No, listen, yes, you've put this in the title, but it's not coming in the body yet. So put it there also. And then this will keep on improving. So it'll actually show you a checklist, which I'm just going to show you in some time, which comes under here. You can see right now, if I show you SEO analysis here, everything is kind of red. Okay, so we have to turn all these things into green. So for example, let's first of all tell Yoast that our phrase here is how to make cappuccino at home without machine. Okay, I'll give this and boom. And right now you can see immediately the sad icon comes because we've not really started writing anything. So what we can do is the title. Sometimes you might have some keywords where just using the keyword probably is not a good idea for the title. Maybe if the keyword was cappuccino at home without machine, that doesn't make any sense to put it in the title, right? So your title doesn't exactly have to be, you can add some how to or some other words there, but all the words should be there. That is what you have to understand. Now, the best part about this keyword is that this itself sounds like a proper title. We really won't need to add any word after this or before this. So for this title, what we can do is we can simply just copy this here. Okay, how to make, just capitalize and do all those things. Of course, those are just for aesthetic purposes, but I'm just so used to doing that I always end up doing that. I hate things which are not capitalized. So whenever you write a title, this is going to be shown on your article. Okay, so that's one of the things we learn in content writing, that always when you write a title, the first letter always have to be of each word has to be capitalized. Okay, that's just but even if you don't do that, it really won't affect you from an SEO purpose. I'm just telling you something that looks nice. Okay, so this is done, and as we keep on doing this, the SEO analysis will keep on improving here. Okay, so we put this keyword in our title. So we had a fantastic keyword. We didn't even have to actually change anything here. Okay, then the next part will be, now I'm not going to do this, but this is where you will be actually writing your whole piece of content, just like I showed you for the Edupreneur article. Okay, so this is going to be your sample body. And this also will have some important points. One of the most important points is that, especially at the start, try to get this keyword somewhere here. So you can say, like, just to start off with, you can say, in this detailed tutorial, we will be seeing how to make cappuccino. So I'm just going to copy this basically. I'm going to write the whole thing. Okay, so you can see, I'll make cappuccino the machine. Okay, and then sample body. So more, keep writing sample body again. So these are different paragraphs, okay, where you'll keep writing and try. So you always don't have to exactly have this exact keyword repeating everywhere, okay, but at least try to get some of the keywords again and again. And to be honest, they will anyway come, okay, because if you remember, always go back to that initial point which I made. You are writing great content. When you write great content, first of all, it's going to be long. Remember 1,500 to 3,000 words. Obviously, if you're writing a 1,500 to 3,000 words article on how to make cappuccino at home without machine, obviously things like cappuccino, machine, and all these things will get repeated. Okay, so usually these things happen naturally, and that's actually the best way. Okay, but sometimes it's just good to be a bit clever and just put these exact keywords in the body also whenever you can. Don't just put it if it's grammatically wrong, like you're writing something and then you suddenly just put it just so that it helps the Google crawler. No, it has to make sense, because the number one priority is the reader. Always remember that, the actual human reader. The Google bot comes later. Okay, so but the overall point is, in your body, try to get this, because that's how Google, when it goes through this, it'll come to know that yes, this article really is about how to make cappuccino at home without a machine. Okay, and SEO, the Yoast will also actually point that out by showing you something called as a keyword density. Keyword density just means how many times is this keyword repeating in your body. Okay, but point is, you're going to write good content. Now, a few other areas where this keyword has to come is right here. Okay, so there's something called as meta description here. That's what you're going to find under Yoast here. Okay, now what is the meta description? Let me just quickly show you. Okay, so if I just again show you this example meaning of Edupreneur, and you're seeing these things here, like this is the title now, okay, and this part that Google shows, okay, this sometimes I've seen that it picks up any part that you've written here, but usually it picks up this thing from whatever you write in the meta description. So think of this part, the meta description, think of this part as the summary of whatever your article is about, but this is not reflected here. So whenever you hear the term meta, okay, this just means that this is not going to reflect in the front end. Okay, whatever you're writing here is basically for the machine. That means you're only telling Google, the bots, when they come on your website, they can read this, whatever comes here, but this won't reflect anywhere on the body of the content. Okay, so this got to do with the HTML language, like meta tags and all the head tags and all. I don't want to get into that, but meta description is important, and your keyword should also come here. So the best part is Yoast makes it very easy. Otherwise, you'll have to go to the source of this page and then change it. You'll have to know coding and all this. But because the Yoast software we've installed, you can just do it in the front end, like in this part right here. So here, what I can say is that this is a full-fledged guide on, and now we'll be cleverly introducing our exact keyword here. So this is a full-fledged guide on how to make cappuccino at home without a machine. And usually it's good to just fill it till you start seeing, I think it allows you 160 words or something. So Yoast will actually show you like a nice green bar. Right now, orange means it's okay, but you can still do better. Okay, so add more words to it. So there's a full-fledged guide on how to make cappuccino at home without machine. And this machine which will result in a fantastic homemade coffee. That's good. So we've got, the main thing is we've cleverly introduced our keyword here. That's the main thing, okay? But this also will help you rank your article better, the meta description. All right, so, and now you can actually see that it's Yoast also kind of showing us how this will look on Google. So you can see this will be the title, this will be the meta description, but meta description won't come here. This will be your article. I know it's getting a bit repetitive, but that's how SEO usually is. Okay, so every time you make a change, what we have to do is we just have to come down to this part. Always make this SEO analysis open up, and Yoast will keep telling you what is good in your article till now, as far as it being SEO optimized is concerned, and what you still have to add. Okay, now one thing that, so you can see all these green things are good. So we've got our key phrase in our introduction. Remember, in the main body, key phrase length is good. We put this in the meta description. Meta description length is good. Remember, we made it till that green thing, green bar. And you can see the other things are also here. Okay, now some things that are not here, which are outbound links. So Google loves, in your body of the content, it loves to see you directing, the user outside your website also. Maybe you're giving like some sort of reference to a study that was done. So let's say if I was to say, check out this machine. This particular machine is great for using it to create cappuccinos at home. And then suppose I give a link to maybe my affiliate Amazon product. Okay, that will also be count as an outbound link. So try to give outbound links anytime it makes sense. For example, let's say here, if I'm saying I'm giving a link to the coffee maker in question, what I can do is say, it's very easy. You can just, I'm just showing you, just giving you an example. Let's say we decide to take this, turn this into a link, maybe let's say just this much, and we can press this link icon. And suppose I had that Amazon page with me, I can just paste the URL here and then just click on this app. So this will create an outbound link where if someone clicks on it, then they're going to be redirected outside your website. Let me just show you from my own article if I have any. So you can see using tools that enable automation. Like this is like a link, but this is actually an internal link. Okay, so this actually opens up on my own website to another article. So that's a internal link, and an outbound link, or an external link rather, is somewhere which takes to someone else's website. For example, here I'm saying, I'm just talking about how you can become an edupreneur. So you will need some webinar software like Zoom. So suppose like this. Now if I click on it, this will actually take me to the Zoom website. Zoom is a software which is not on my own website. So this is an external link. So I have both internal links as well as external links. And actually, if you see the SEO analysis, it's going to point to this also. You need to have both. Okay, so you need to have links that take the user outside also, and it all has to be done in a relevant way. Okay, and internal links, maybe this article here, we can maybe give one of the links to another article on our website. Okay, this might not happen at the start because you may just be writing your first article, but eventually this is a practice that you should develop. Okay, that start giving links to other articles from your another article, like the article that you are writing. Okay, so Yoast will keep on reminding you, and soon this will become a habit. In this, I'm not worrying too much about it because this is not a real article, but ultimately you will start to do this also. Then it's telling us that you don't have any images. You can add some. Again, maybe let's say we want to add an image here. In WordPress, it's very easy. You just take the image and either you can upload it, or if you have already on your media library, you can just kind of put something here. Okay. Now, the important thing here is, so let's say I put this image now. And obviously, we are assuming that this is going to be a coffee related image. Okay. So now if we see that this thing, we have some images also. Okay. Now, another thing that you can do when you add an images, this also gives us an opportunity to add our keyword once again, is that we can, we can actually just go here on the right side. You'll see something which says image settings, and there's something called as alt text. Now, whatever you put in the alt text is actually, again, think of it like the meta thing, okay, that it's not shown to the user. So this is not really like the meta thing, because what the alt text means is that by mistake, if the image doesn't load, then instead of the image, the user will see the text. But why a lot of SEO people use it is to just kind of get that keyword once again into the picture. Okay, now these days Google doesn't pay a lot of attention to alt text, okay, because a lot of people abuse it. That means they start putting the keywords in an unnecessary manner, but it does not hurt. But what I usually like to do is I don't like to put the alt text in just any image here if it doesn't make sense. There's something called as a featured image. Okay, so if I click on the post here, you can see something called as featured image. Now, what is a featured image? Anytime you write a post on WordPress, this front image that comes along with the articles. For example, if you were to click on my blog and you see all my articles, they all have featured images like this. Okay, so this, think of it like the main image of the article, which is seen when people see your article. Okay, and I'll actually like to put the keyword here because this is the image that actually represents the whole article. So if I click on this, and let's say I had a nice image of a coffee, okay, just giving an example, then what I'm going to do here is that click on this image, okay, and make sure this alt text I just write our keyword here, because now it makes sense. I'm not abusing it in any way, because since this image represents the article, the alt text definitely can be this. Okay, I can do this also. And now if I go back, you can see that things will start improving. So image key phrase images on this page do not have alt attribute. That's because I've just put it. In some time it will recognize this, and even this thing here will become green. So whenever something is in orange, Yoast is telling you, yeah, it's okay, it's not that bad, but try to improve it. But anything that is in red, you must improve it. So the only thing now that we're left here is with the text length. Okay, now that obviously I won't cover right now because I'm not writing an actual article. That is very simple to understand. Yoast says that the recommended minimum length is 300 words, but I think they are wrong about this. Okay, yes, ideally 300 words definitely should be the minimum, but like I said, a lot of SEO people say that it should at least be 1,000 words. And ideally, if you really want to rank quickly, it should be between 1,500 to 3,000 words. In fact, that is one of the things that you should do when you actually analyze the competition on when you're going through the websites which are ranking on top for your keyword. Always one of the things that I like to do is just open up the websites which are ranking on top and see the length of the content that they've written for. Okay, so if you find that there's a website which is ranking, for example, let's take the examples of this keyword that we've seen last time. Okay, I know it's getting a bit long, but that's how SEO is. Sometimes you just need to really understand everything. For example, we saw this article on NDTV. So let's just click on it and let's see how long this was. And you can see that it's not really very long, right? This is another indication that we can rank quickly if we were to write a long article. This must be like, I'm guessing this must be around 500 words, 600 words. So remember, just imagine, first of all, you already know, and the tools, that's one of the reasons why they tell you that the keyword difficulty is less, because they also see this, that what is the length of this article. If they notice that all the top ranking websites have very short articles, that's why they reduce the keyword difficulty score. So if I were to write, or if you were to write a very good detailed article, okay, first of all, this will also become green. We will have more words than our competitors. It'll be optimized in every possible way because we are following the things given out by Yoast. And then everything will be green here. That means this is a fully optimized content, and we will get a smiley like this. We already got it, but we can even make it, improve it once we just address these things, which are very easy to address, right? And then we're simply going to click on publish. Okay, so if you click on publish, this article will now, if I click on view post, will be there on our website. Okay, and hopefully, if you followed all the rules, once Google indexes this, the whole process called indexing it, that means once its crawlers start going on your website and they notice that this article is there, it'll slowly start ranking it because we followed all good practices. So this, in a very basic way, is just how you write SEO optimized content on any page, even on your home page of your website. This is how SEO people do it. Okay, so I hope that this whole thing was able to just make you understand how the process works, and we will continue obviously discussing more things about optimizing and learning more things about SEO, because there is still a lot of stuff remaining. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. All right, now one thing that I forgot to mention is another thing which is very important is something called as a URL slug. Okay, now, but that is almost taken care of automatically, but I still want to point that out. So first of all, what do I mean by this URL slug thing that I'm talking about? So again, if we just take a general example, I've written how to make coffee, and we saw some results here, right? So you can see the moment you see the result, you see the title, you see the meta description also here, and you also see the URL, right? The website, but you also see after the website, whatever is coming here, right? This is the URL slug, okay? And this is also important that your keyword comes here. But like you're going to find out, this automatically happens. But I just want to point it out. For example, this was the article that we wrote. And if I click on, if you just see this, we can just click on preview like this. And what you're going to see here is when it ultimately opens up in WordPress, so you're going to see something like this, right? So we had published this article, and you can see it says yogapreet.net. That is the name of the sample website that I use. So this will be the name of your website. And after that, you can see that we get this also in the title. So this is coming in the title, but there's one thing that I still need to do which will even improve this URL slug here, okay? Which is that after your website, it should only be this. So this basically, whatever comes here in the URLs, it just takes whatever you write in the content here, okay? Now, why is this happening? So if I go to the dashboard of my WordPress, and this is actually one of the first things I teach in my website making courses, okay? But what you have to do is inside the dashboard, you go to settings and you go to something called as permalinks here, okay? And different platforms, like I'm showing you in WordPress, different platforms will have different ways to do this. But here, the important thing is right now, you can see under common settings, we have a lot of different settings. So if I leave it to plain, instead of this here, after my website name, WordPress will actually just give the ID of the post. So each post, like this post, the article that you made has an ID in WordPress. It'll just give that number. Now, we don't want that. Why? Remember, because when Google goes through your article, the URL slug, the keywords coming in that is important. We just don't want to show Google this number. So the best option that you, out of all this that you get is, like right now it's set to day and name, right? So you can see that it's yogapreet.net. It shows the date and then the article, but I don't even want the date because it just looks bad, right? But I can change this to post name. Usually for all my official websites, okay, I've not changed it for this because I don't really use this website, but for all my official websites, I just keep it at post name. Now, what this does, it's just going to be your website name / the keywords that come in the title. Okay, so that's it. So whatever you put here is exactly what's going to come here, and you actually see this change happening. So if I now change this and click on save changes, okay, what you're going to see, if I refresh this, most probably you're just going to see the change being reflected. So you can see now it says that this post actually cannot be found. Why? Because now it won't actually consider this date set. So what we're going to do is simply going to again click on preview, or let's just go back, just reload WordPress once so that it clears any buffer. And this is our post here. Under posts, you can see how to make cappuccino at home without coffee. Now, if I click on view, it should, you can see it's got rid of that date. So now that even with the date, it was not such a bad thing because ultimately we were getting the keywords. That's what is important. But even from a human point of view, it just looks much better when they read something like this. Okay, so change it to post name. But the important thing is don't leave it to the post ID where there's just some number here, because that will affect your SEO. Okay, and you can also, if you ever want to make any changes to it, maybe you want this URL slug for some reason, maybe you want it to be different than the title here, you can always change it from here. Okay, so the URL slug is here. You can actually add and remove words, but it's not recommended, okay, especially if you do it at a later stage, because then if you've shared this somewhere and you change the URL slug, that means the URL of the article will change, okay? But the main thing is whatever you put here will be reflected here. Make sure that it's set to post name under permalinks settings. Just thought I'll mention this also. Now, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.